Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm doing an unboxing and rambling with Last Light, the board game from Grey Fox Games. It's not really the board game, it's just Last Light. I think I've been so overwhelmed with all these video game adaptations, and before we continue, a coffee shot and knife and all that stuff, but I've been overwhelmed with all these video game adaptations that I'm used to everything being called the board game. I have titles. We have Call of Duty, the board game. We have Elder Scrolls, the board. Elder Scrolls is actually Betrayal of the Second Era, not the board game. And then they had Skyrim, so not really the board game. Today it's called Skyrim, the board game? Skyrim, the adventure game. They have that. Stalker, the board game. We have all these video game IPs overwhelming us. But Last Light is not that. Last Light is designed by Roy Kennedy from the Dice Tower. It's put out by Grey Fox Games. I don't know what this part of the unboxing is going to look like, because this is like a 5 to 8 player expansion, which means it's more of the stuff you'll see in this box. I'll still open it, but don't hold your breath on what happens in this box. This box might be like, hey, here's the new alien races, and more of the stuff I just showed you. So we'll see. We'll go into it all. But first, let's go ahead and open up this box over here. And coffee, of course. And sorry, the coffee part is important. But either way, if you're new to the channel, this is an unboxing and rambling. First of all, welcome aboard. Thanks for being here. Secondly, this is, I actually have played Last Light several times. I've reviewed this game. I may even re-review it. I played this game so many times since I was there. It's interesting. There are different games. Re-reviewing games is a fascinating conversation in its own right. Over here, and we'll get to that conversation in a second, we have Last Light as a fast-paced 4X game where players take on the rules of alien factions, race into control, etc., etc. I don't know if I'm interested enough to continue going, but Last Light is effectively a fast-paced 4X game. That's what it is. It's a 4X game that's going to play in an hour, and I say that having played this at 2 players, at 3 players, and at 4 players, all played in the hour range. I played at 7 players, and it was like an hour and 10 minutes, so that was just like way too long for a 4X game. Now, obviously, it's simultaneous, it's very streamlined, it's not going to give you a Twilight Imperium kind of experience, but it is going to give you a good time, at least in my opinion. The amount of people who have put this game on their top, whatever anticipated list, it is a lot of people, and I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game. People have enjoyed this game. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Last Light, the board game. Roy Kennedy, Grey Fox Games, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens next with Roy. This is interesting because most people don't design one game. Most people. Even Tom Vassell, who has famously designed Nothing Personal, has designed more than Nothing Personal. Nothing Personal is just the game he's most famous for. He designed games before and after that, some that I've never seen the light of day. I know this because I watched the Dice Tower history. You should watch the Dice Tower history. It's very informative, very educational, and if you like the Dice Tower, it's just cool. It's cool to see the Dice Tower history over time. But Roy Kennedy, I imagine he has more stuff planned. But first, we have Last Light, the rulebook over here. This is a very easy game to set up and dive into. Well, not set up. It's a very easy game to play. Set up, I've only had the chance of playing with the prototype, so I can't speak to how easy it is to set up. Look how fast this is. This is like a very short rulebook. It's like 15 pages, and half that's the 2-player variant, which I had a chance to actually play with Roy himself. We have the page 14 over here, setups over here, winning the game. So really, it's like 8 pages at most, and most of this is setup stuff. So a very easy game to dive into as far as the rules and all that. Basically, you're playing a card every single round, playing cards simultaneously, resolving most actions simultaneously, except for the attack action. We will have to assemble some planets, so I will try not to throw this out before I need to. It also has a quick reference, so I definitely will not throw it out. It's also covering my knife already, which is the nerve of that. Let's go ahead and pull these things out over here, because we have a lot of stuff to go through. This is, well, let's see what we have. So first of all, we have, I imagine, the board. I just imagine this is the board. You're going to have to stick a little thing in the middle over here. In fact, you're going to have to stick a bunch of things in the middle to get this thing set up. We have this set up over here, like so. Let's punch that out. Hopefully that's supposed to punch out, because otherwise we're in trouble. I'm going to put that over there, get rid of this first piece. We're going to take this and rotate this around. Is there a side that matters? That looks like it's 1, 2, 3 quadrants. That looks like it's less quadrants. So this is probably the right side. It's also probably group and player count dependent. So you can see over here, these are all player count dependent. So probably says some player marker in some way, somewhere. The question is the where. Because, I mean, they have it on they have a page that shows you the whole thing. But this will go through the whole board over here. And then you're going to rotate this around as you go through it. You can't see it well on my top camera. I might actually do this as we go through it. But should we open this first? Let's go ahead and open this and see what's in here over here. But Last Light, it's a 4X, fast-paced 4X game. Oh wait, I promised you a conversation. I promised you a conversation around the nature of re-reviewing games. A conversation I've probably had before, but the nature of what I do. Like, at this point, if you watch all my videos, this is the equivalent of having that friend who, keeps going back to those 4 stories. Inherently, I'm going to repeat things. That's the nature of YouTube content. I'm going to repeat things. Which is ironic because the conversation I'm having is about repeating reviews, but it's just the nature of having a conversation and a buddy, and you're talking about what's going on and all the things. Why am I punching things now? I don't usually punch things in unboxings. It's too late now. These are punched. The rest of it I'll save. we have our little planet rings over here. These are to show you the color of a planet. Effectively, let's punch that out. And we're going to have this that goes around a planet. Let's pull that out. It goes around the planet ring to show you the color, because the planet marbles, effectively, that show you the planet, while they're very cool, sometimes it's not always obvious that's green and red. Maybe it was green and red and blue, but you're not 100% sure. And so you have these to make sure that you are 100% sure as you play through it. Anyways, and these are going to be your player boards, where you'll store all the cards you're gathering as you build up your factions and stuff like that. We have these, which I'm going to put off to the side. And then we have this box over here, which we're going to take off here and see all the giant marbles. Okay, this is my first question. What is happening here? What is happening here? Why are there so few marbles? Is that because this is meant to be holding all the... I wonder how this is supposed to be. You see, we have an entire tray over here, and this tray is like half full. Now I'm wondering if we're supposed to take all the contents of the 5 to 8 player expansion and put them in here. I don't know if we are or are not. We're going to go through some stuff over here. I mean, that happens to work for me for the sake of box consolidation, but I don't know if that's necessarily the most fun for people who just back the core game as is. It's one of those things where no matter what you do, you're going to make people unhappy. In fact, Dwellings of Eldervale actually have their own issue along these lines. If you recall Dwellings of Eldervale, we got all these. I'm just taking things out. We got this giant block, which maybe that's for cards that will be in the expansion. I don't know. We're figuring this out together. I've played the game. I've never dealt with the storage of the game. This didn't even have like a real box. This had like a nothing box, which is not actually a thing. A nothing box is not a thing, but it is a thing now. And we have one random one of these, which will go into our pile of stuff over here. We're gonna figure things out shortly. We got a dice. We got a dice. If you watch the Origins vlog, at one point Meg was talking about how she played Last Light. She's like, "Ooh, I got shown the cool dice for the game." And I was like, "What dice? Last Light does not have dice." And then eventually I remembered Last Light does have dice, because you roll dice in ship combat. When you're attacking people in space, you roll these. And you're gonna have exploding crits, which I assume. Ooh, that's the exploding crit. Look at that. That's your exploding crit. There you go, and that's a regular crit. So hit, exploding crit, hit, exploding crit. Am I right about that? I assume so. It looks like a reroll symbol, which means roll more dice, generally. But either way, these are going to be the dice over here. They are nice dice. I like the dice overall. But either way, what are we talking about? I've lost so many. The amount of side conversations we've already had and started and not finished. One of them is the fact that, welcome to this channel, this is an unboxing and rambling. I will ramble all over the place while I talk about this game. I have played this game, I've reviewed this game, I will probably review this game again. Hence the conversation about re-reviewing things that we're going to get into as soon as I'm done with this coffee. Not done with the coffee, but like done with the coffee. Anyways, we got more stuff, but now I'm kind of torn which way to go. Where do I get pulled? Okay, let's put this down over here. Nope, you can get rid of this. We're going to put this down over here. Then we're going to find some of these over here. We need to find our giant center planet, which I assume this is the giant center planet. Like, this looks like it might be the giant center planet. Let's figure this out over here. Here we go. Here's our giant center planet, which probably goes in like that, maybe. It does fit in nicely, but we need a base now. Now we need a base. So, is this a base? No, that does not look like a base at all. Nope, that's not a base. Is this a base? Are you my mom? Are you my mom? No, I'm not your mom. Okay. Are the bases? These are bases. Here we go. We're making progress, slowly but surely. This is going to be a base over here, which we're going to take this bad boy over here and put this into the base like so. The tricky part of that, I assume it goes like that. I mean, it does fit on the board nicely like that. Here we go. So, if this is the case, we have this board that goes through here, probably-ish, maybe. I'm going to make a giant mess of things and knock my coffee over too. But this, I don't even know. I'm going to have to look up how it goes underneath the main center mat over here, because I don't know if you're supposed to have a full-on piece underneath the mat. That seems like it would not work well. Let's put this over here. I'm trying to get that to line up, but there we go. Yeah, this would not work well, I think, if it's like that. I'll have to figure out. I'm honestly not going to mess with the center rotation thing, because I don't want to right now, because I just want to be able to show you this without having to figure it all out. So we're going to just put the board over here. We're going to put the next level over here, like so. It does rotate around. I'm telling you, it does. I've done this. But I don't know the exact way this is specifically set up as far as how it rotates around. So just pretend this is all rotating and pretend we have a nice little planet that goes down the board like so. Except this is like probably in the center, maybe in the center, I don't know. Then we have all these other colors, which we're going to deal with as well. And I am just hoping that I'm doing it right because I haven't looked it up. Again, I've done the prototype here. This could go like this to provide more of a base for it. But then this would have to go in further into it, which maybe that's the way it works. Yeah, that's the way it works. This other one's wrong. This other one's horribly wrong. Ignore what I did. It was just so wrong. Although maybe not. This one. Here we go. Here we go. I figured it out. I'm making progress. Down here, we have this guy, which is going to go through the board. This is the piece that goes through the board. We have this that goes into here like so, and we have this that goes into here. So I do have the correct thing, but this is just going to go over here with that. I've been using the wrong discs. We have an extra one of these as well in case things break, which is nice. And then we're going to grab more planets and set them up on your giant, rotating, spinning planet of a thing. I still haven't told you anything about the situation. Now, what we do want is this is going to be a yellow and green planet, so we're going to grab a yellow and green planet indicator for those who want it. You don't have to use this if you don't like it. If you like the planets more in their natural habitat-ish, you can just do that. You don't have to. You can do it however you want. Interesting. Now this bothers me. Am I doing it right? Because this feels like it should... I mean, this does kind of clip on, but it's definitely a bit of a hard push. But now you can kind of see how... that's how it's going to show up. So you have this on the planet board, so everyone can immediately see the green and yellow of that planet. But that means I want to find the red and blue planet now. So we're going to do that in a second. Give me a second here. I'm trying to find this over here. I'm going to do the exact same thing over here, taking that off and punching this again. Am I going to do all of these right now? Probably not. Probably, he says, not confidently at all. Anyways, we push that down. So again, these kind of clip down fairly tightly in a way that's very interesting. So there's a little bit of a piece over here, and I don't know how well you can see, but there's a little bit of a push down. It does mean that it stays on nicely. Hopefully I'm doing it as intended, or maybe I should just read the rule book like a normal person instead of always trying to figure things out on camera. Less entertaining, possibly more valuable. We have a red and yellow planet over here, which we're going to grab this one over here, because we got a red and yellow planet in this box over here. Although now I wonder too, if you mix in the expansion stuff, do you have to look up the planet distribution, or do you do it randomly? Like, how does that work? Because that's interesting, because you definitely want it to be evenly distributed. So you see over here, you see how this kind of has a bit of a ridge to it? And that what you're doing here is you're taking this piece over here, and you're sliding it down in a way that doesn't actually go on. It kind of stops there. But if you push it just a notch, it kind of clips on. So, like, is that good for, like, on and off access? Probably not. Is it good for sticking on access? It actually works great. Like, you can shake it and everything, and shake it like a Polaroid picture, and you place your planets in space in your giant planetary solar system. Actually, you could see everything here. You know what? We're going to keep doing this. But first, rules. I want to see him doing it right. Okay. Great, I'm doing it right. Here we go. That's it. It shows you right over here. This is how you assemble all that stuff. And this is how that other part, which is in general, the amount of times I don't read something on camera that I should be reading, it is a thing. But now I am concerned with all these other things. We have so many things here, and I don't know. We're going to go adventuring. I still haven't talked about the videos. I want that bag. I shouldn't have thrown it on the ground. Okay. Where's our box? Box is over here. We got pieces left, right, and center. We're going to open the cards, put them down into the thing, and talk about videos. Re-reviewing games. So, I review games on this channel, but I also review games that don't exist yet, aka prototypes. The problem with that is then those games later do exist, and I'm like, do I review it again? Like, I don't need to review it again, right? I already reviewed it. And most of the time I won't review it again, but I will seek out alternative forms of content when I can. So for example, I will often, if I'm able to, I'll do a play this, not that. So I'll be like, I'll review the game now, but I'll do a play this, not that instead. What I probably should have is I should have a format specifically for re-reviewing something that I've already reviewed, but give a different title. I don't know. How has it changed? That's a terrible title. Don't use that at all. Post-Kickstarter? I don't know. I need a better title. But in general, I'll try to seek out alternative forms of content. There are times. Recently I did a re-review for, what was it? Keystone North America. I re-reviewed that because I wanted to talk about the game. I was excited about the game, and it showed up, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk about it. And so I did. I talked about it, because you can't stop me from talking about it, and I was excited about the game. Actually, speaking of Grey Fox, I did it for Ragnaroks 2. Both Ragnaroks and Keystone North America are games that I played around the same time and really enjoyed. These are space rocks. I assume they go in space. I don't remember the space rock situation. I think they're used to like clog up different areas of the board. So we're going to do it right now. We're going to make this a very pretty board. Could we look in the rules and see what an actual board would look like? We can. Are we going to? We are most certainly not going to. That would be far too easy. Now this over here, I assume that this is light. I assume that these tokens over here are 1s and 5s in the world of light. And they're okay. I dropped one. They're okay over here. They're not the best. They're not the worst. They feel like cheap plastic, light little tokens. They're nice. Don't get me wrong. They're just, they've no heft. Like, I mean, they're better than a coin, but I almost wish they had some like heft to it. But the tricky part is that would change entirely the production cost. Like, what are you going to do? Crystal? I am curious about that. But they function just fine. They function. What did we use last time? The prototype we used those, like, I think those little white crystal stuff. The crystals you used to see in like every game ever. Oh wait, I put these cards in the wrong box. These cards should go promo tech cards. Ooh, they're promo tech cards. They have the same back. Cards with this symbol are promos and can simply be added to the stack. They include supersonic. Shield cards should be added when playing promo tech because they keep the likely appearance in the game normal. They should also be removed if you remove the promo cards. Okay. Shield cards should be added. What do you mean shield cards should be added? Shield cards? I don't know what it means by shield cards. I should read more stuff. Power shield. Okay, is that one shield? I don't know. We'll figure it out later, but I will put the promo cards into a slightly different slot just to protect myself against all the bad things that can happen. We have our bags full of stuff over here. I'm going to take this larger disc and I'm going to put it into the bag full of smaller discs, which I assume have extras anyway. We have our ships over here, and we have these cubes here. These are damage markers, I guess. These over here, these actually, they have the same, quality. Here we go. You see, they're very light plastic. They're red, so they won't show up as well on camera. But these are going to be damage markers that I assume you can put next to ships on the board, or do you put them on the actual? I like the feeling of them. I like they're very light. They're very light, but they do have a nice whatever to them. We're going to leave a few of those there and toss a few of these back in the box somewhere while we look at some ships over here. And we have some of these ships over here. Oh, these are going to be the different ships for each faction. Every faction has its own unique ships. I'll look at these shortly. We got our dice. Dice are going to go back in the box. We'll deal with these later. We have these over here. These are going to be the different resources. Okay, so you're going to be gathering resources in the game. I like these. These are nice. You're going to have different resources in the game. I feel are there only 3 resource types? I vaguely recall there being 4, but maybe I'm misremembering. I mean, am I missing a bag here? Nope. There's probably only 3 resource types because I only see 3 resources here. But these are going to be resources that you can trade up to different levels or tiers as you go through it. These are nice over here. The basic ones that are just, very monochrome, they're not as interesting looking. But the other ones, as you start adding color to them, and we have our purple and our whatever ones. And so the purple ones, we need some cards. I can find some cards in a second and show you whether I'm missing any of these. But here we go. These are the purple resource markers, and they are nice. Again, it's interesting. Everything here feels light. It feels like, you'll see when you get the game, if you get the game, you'll see what I mean. I like everything, but it all feels light, except for the planets. The planets are just, heavy and cool. Anyways, let's put these back in. That's actually one of the things, by the way, in general. This unboxing is probably going to get a bit more attention than some. Grey Fox Games historically has had some production issues with some of their games, and therefore they've had people who are, well, not thrilled if they get a game with production issues. So far, the only production issue I have right now is the lightness. But this is not a finely detailed review. I definitely am not accounting for errata on cards. This is me unboxing and going through what I see over here, and so far the biggest complaint I have is that some things feel light. And that I don't read instructions very well. Instructions I do. Rulebooks I do. I just mean like things like, I don't know. What are we talking about? Like how to put things together. Alright, so we have more cards we need to go through here, and we do need to go through them. We also have those will need to go in there. We have a golden planet promo. Simply replace any planet in the inner ring. Okay. A special golden planet counts as all 4 colors for the sake of planetary achievements. Do we have a golden planet? We have a golden planet. Okay, it's a promo card. Where does it go in here? I don't know. Where do these go in here? These are going to be your little player aids, which are going to open this over here. We also have our races and factions over here in the game. So, again, I kind of touched upon the reviewing things twice issue. I kind of touched upon that. Will I review this again? Possibly. I hope to be diving into this one soon. Also, depending on when you're viewing this unboxing, it's possible that the review is the same day as the unboxing, if we're crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope to dive into this week and get some plays in. We have exploration over here. Exploration. These are going to be just basically your thingies. Gain a small ship. Oh, the iconography. So iconography in general. Gain a resource of the type shown. So it looks like there's only 3 resources just based on, well, that one card over there. So that seems to answer that question. I was going to look for a different set of cards. I was going to look for the card that gives you your actual action economy. Because if I recall correctly, maybe you traded up for light. Maybe that was the issue. So there's a specific card you can play on your turn that involves trading resources, and you can trade. There's 4 quadrants in the card. So I was thinking there's 4 resources because of the 4 quadrants. But I think the last quadrant is trading 2 of the highest tier resource for light. I think that's the quadrant. Okay, let's open up these factions and abilities and all these things. I'm glad this game's finally here. I've waited for this game for a while. This game will be at Gen Con. If you're at Gen Con or going to Gen Con, this game should be available to check out, to demo, all those good things. I assume it'll be available to demo. Definitely available to buy. We have the Ionel over here. We have the Shard. For each crit you roll in combat, you may trade a thing for a light. Ooh, that's cool. I like that. I like that. Beyond if one or more of your ships harvest light from the center star, gain an extra light. So in general in the game, you're migrating towards center star because every time you rotate the boards, you're going to get a light for every ship in the center star. This game is a race to 20 light. There's a few things you do that get light, but it's all about building up your economy, getting your mines out to various planets, gathering resources, using those for ships, using those ships to kill opponents. A whole bunch of things you can do, all in the effort of gaining light. We have Talarin. When you play your command action, you may spend the thing to move a ship one sector. That's useful. Belishan. When you play your trade action, you may make one additional trade. Also, so that goes to the trade card. Let's go ahead and find you that trade card now, because it would be a shame if we spent more than 17.5 seconds on the same topic. What was the thing I was thinking of earlier? There was another thing I was thinking of. I'm still bothered by how these, how the core box, how the expansion box integrates into this set. I hope it does fit into the same box, but we have our graveyards here. So these are going to be the graveyards. Whenever you destroy enemy ships, they go here. When you have enough ships over here, you return them and gain 2 light. And then we have your individual action cards over here. So we have research, we have mine, which is going to be how you gather resources for each of your minings, construct, and then we have trade. So there we go. Trade is gain 1, trade 2 for a purple, trade 2 purple for an orange, trade 2 orange for a light, then choose an opponent to gain 1. I did remember the 4 quadrants. I just forgot that the last quadrant was light, not another resource. We have refreshing, which means we pull back all your cards, and when everyone plays the refresh card, you're going to rotate the sector. That's the whole nature of the game. It's a card management game. You're like, I'm going to advance through space. I'm going to shoot your ships. I'm going to build a mine. I'll refresh and pull back my cards. And you're trying to balance the timing of all this to effectively have the most efficient engine in play, combined with going through all the tech cards, of which there are stacks of tech cards. I mean, let's go through a few more of these. We have command, where you move your ships around. We have research, where you can go ahead and build those tech cards. We have mine, which means we're on to the next set of cards. Oh, we already are on the next set of cards. You have yellow and reds. That's going to be your 4 sets of player cards over here. We're going to take this Golden Planet promo out because I just don't like these small little sleeves. And we're also going to have a bunch of these tech cards. If I can get them out over here. Ignore the blinking light behind me. Stop blinking. Over here, we have tech cards. So we have light refinement. When you refresh, gain a light for each non-blockaded distant planet where you have an extractor. Light shield. Exhaust this card to negate 1 damage being dealt to a ship of this type. So you have all these different cards over here that are going to go towards your cards. Some of them will, improve your ships, giving them shields or attack powers or rerolls. Some of them will allow, planet bombing, I think was a thing if I recall correctly. Lots of fun upgrades for your 3 classes of ship, your light, medium, and heavy ships you have in the game. And this tech pile, the variety of the tech pile was a big part of why this game was so engaging and fun and just good to go through. We're back to the, where did these go? Is there a place for the regular cards in this insert? Here's the problem I'm having. See this over here? This is the insert, and I don't see a place for the regular cards. I see a place for the big cards. I see a place for the small cards. I don't see a place for these cards. But is that because I'm missing it, or because it doesn't exist? We'll never know. I found the spot for the dice. Where's the dice? I found the dice spot. We're gonna get rid of this now over here. The dice spot's going to be that center lane over here. Okay, there we go. You can't see it, but they're taken care of now. And these I'm going to have to deal with shortly, but these will all go on top of, well, we'll figure it out. I'll sleeve these. This is a handful of cards to sleeve. These I don't know if I care to sleeve. Burlejan, when you play a trade action, you may make an additional trade. Vexa, when one of your ships is destroyed, you may immediately pay a purple to the bank to move it to your home sector instead of your opponent's graveyard. That was used against me badly the last game I played. Enkelios, immediately after rolling combat dice, you may pay 1 to add a die to the roll. Mellifera, when you reveal planetary exploration action, you may exhaust this card and spend purple to immediately build an extractor. That's useful for getting your economy up and going. Altera, when you build an extractor, immediately gain resources as though you mined this planet. Again, useful for getting your actions. Imperios, exhaust the card and pay 1 to gain the resources provided by 1 planet you control. Look at how many factions there are in the game. This is how much variety there is to the general game. And they're not going to obviously be the thing that completely changes up your game, but it is going to change up your experience as you go through this. Where do these cards go? I'm bothered by this. I'm bothered by where these cards go in the answer. Because right now, I don't have an answer, and I don't like that one bit. Could they go down like that? I guess they could. Let me just see one thing. Give me a second here. Give me a second. I need to get my story straight. These cards won't go in where I want. I guess they could have kind of lay flat, but I'd rather take these right now and bag them up, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bag them into one of these many plastic bags that are so graciously provided, and I'm going to take this and put it into a side pocket until I figure out what to do with it properly. Okay, so we got resources in there, we got this and that, lots of things happening, which means we still have the planets. This can probably go over here. That seems safe. This can go off to the side over here. These plastic bags can go down there. Maybe I'll get them back, maybe I won't. We'll figure it all out later. And then we have these over here. We gotta show you some of these things. I could put together all the planets. Let's put together one more planet. One more planet. I only want one more. One more. This is the gold planet promo you have. If I can pull it out. Oh, nice. You don't have to constantly reassemble them. They fit perfectly into there. Good, good, good. Okay, great. We got our gold planet. We have our little base. Is there a gold planet base? No idea. I'm going to assume there's not until I see one otherwise, because I don't see one in there. But we have our sparkling little gold planet over here. This is what we got over there. That's going to be your planet, which goes back into the base. So the thing I was excited about is I realized they all fit back in here properly. But we have our small single color planets. We have a single color planet. Let's grab this over here, because we want this. I'm just like assembling all these now. I'm assembling enough of these now for it to be useful-ish, just so you can get an idea. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. We have one of these bases over here. I'm going to put this down over here. I'm going to take our little yellow thing and, again, plug it directly, pushing it down on there, because that's the way it's definitely supposed to go. They told me. And then we have our pure yellow planet. Yellow, 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 yellow planet going over there. So this is the board presence. I should do more planets. More planets. More planets. Okay. These ones are good. This one, if you clip it, I think I didn't clip it enough. You kind of have to give it a bit of a push. This one feels loose still. Like, I guess it's good enough. Anyways, let's keep doing a few more of these, because why not? We got a blue and green. This definitely looks like a blue and green. I will say, I saw this at an earlier stage of the production. I don't think these really need the extra little bases. I mean, I'm going to put them on for right now, but like it's pretty obvious what's what as you go through these over here. I'm kind of tempted not to. What would look better? Because right now, none of these planets really are, I guess this one's like the closest we have. So here's one. I mean, it's still pretty obvious. That's a planet that's obviously red, yellow, and green. I don't know why I said that. Red, yellow, and green. Yeah, red, yellow, and green. I think these are all pretty clear to me. This one is all for, nope, this is red, blue, and green. Red, blue, and green. I don't think I have any lack of clarity over what these are. There's no red, yellow, blue, green. That's just all colors. So the question is, what looks better? That's the question we have here. Does a planet without the extra piece on it look better or not? So I'm going to show you two planets on the board. Okay, we're on the board over here. We got a planet on the board. I don't know. I'm not sure what I prefer. For right now, I'm going to put these on, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I prefer as far as the table presence of having the extra color on the space versus if you don't put these on, then you might have the sense. What I might do for the expansion planets, because they obviously have more, I might do them without the bases. And that way I have two sets, one with the bases, and that way at a glance, I might try that. I might try that because I am curious what looks more visually appealing as far as just the table presence overall. But either way, this is obviously building up to a decent table presence as far as the planets, the rotation. I don't think there are any planets on the outside. No, there are. There can be planets on the outside, I think. And then what happens is, as you rotate the board, you rotate the sector, and then you have a new sector opening up. You don't always rotate it that much. You rotate it how much you rotate it. But then suddenly this on this inner planet rotates as well, because different rotational speeds, and things are changing their entire rotation around the galaxy. Although from your front angle, I kind of want to move them back so you can see things again. And then let's go ahead and look at the ships we have before we dive into the extra stuff, which is mostly just more factions. So we got our ships over here. I'm not going to go through all of these over here. I will say, same thing on these ships that we talked about everything until now, in the sense that the overall, do we have 4 ships? No. That's what it was. I panicked for a second. I was like, are there 4 ships? No. There are extractors and then ships. And the extractors look like they're all the same sculpt. So I will show you some extractors over here, and then we'll show you the ship sculpts of maybe each one. I don't know. The extractors are very, very small. And I guess, I don't know why they're so small. These are very, very small. Let me show you them here. Okay. So over here, it's the same thing as everything else, which is overall the production is very solid, very cool, but I will say that everything feels light. These feel like light miniatures. Light miniatures. It feels light. That's actually not funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. But these are extractors that will go in various sectors, and they're the tiny little mines that harvest resources. So these are very, very small. I wish those were bigger. Frankly, I wish these were bigger. Look at the, I don't know how well you can see this over here, but like that's a little thing. I mean, I guess proportionately to the planet, it's actually humongous, but I think that has to be that way. But then we have our different ships over here, which I'm going to show you by holding it up to the camera, as I'm wont to do. Those are going to be your 3 blue ships, the small, medium, and large blue ships. And every ship has different sculpts, so there's going to be unique sculpts. There are going to be unique sculpts as we go through this. But I don't know if I want to show you everything, because let's put some stuff on the board. Let's show you what like ship combat looks like on the board, because you're going to have like giant like space battles over different areas. We're going to have like our giant fleets of red ships trying to conquer the galaxy, Are those are, oh, I remember these. I played with the prototypes of these. I've seen that ship before. I think I was red the last time I played, if I'm not mistaken. And they're facing off against each other. Meanwhile, we have a red ship over here taking down that planet, except it's upside down, apparently. And then we also have a yellow giant ship trying to fight over here, but a purple is getting in on the battlefield because everyone wants that gold planet. And so we have a bunch of these smaller little fleets over here. These are medium-sized fleets from the purple ships over here. These actually, I like the purples. I like the purples. There we go. And that's kind of the visual sense of space combat you're going to have as far as the aesthetic aspect of the table. I like the planets. The ships are good, not great. Like most of the things here, like everything feels good but light. Pun intended by now, I guess. Okay. I think that's what we have for the stuff overall. Which means now it's time to grab this bag back, put all the miniatures back in this bag, I'll sort them all out later, and look what we have in the expansion box, which I will open while everything else is on the table, and we'll see. This is how you lose things. This is how you lose things. Got one of these. Hopefully I didn't just roll over things from my chair. We're going to put these back in here, and I'll sort this all out later, because I don't want to sort it out now. We're going to dump these in here, in here. It's all in just one giant bag. And again, we have the damage markers as well that will track our damage, which is back in the box somewhere. The box is over here. And we're going to put this away, like so, and deal with the actual punching of everything else later. Time to open the next box. This will all make sense when you're older. When you're older, everything makes sense. That's all the lyrics that I know, 'cause I only watched the show one time in theaters with my kids. But they watch the show again and again. They know the lyrics better. I can't do it. Anyways, last light over here. The next box over here is going to have more planets. It's the 5 to 8 player expansion, giving the opportunity to play this at 5 to 8 players. Now, having played this game at 7, I can say that 7 was not as much my jam. What is this, a rulebook? A rulebook for what? What's the rulebook for? Oh, I guess 5-player setup, 6-player setup, 7-player setup, and 8-player setup. That's a good rulebook to have. But I played this only once at a higher player count than 4, and it was specifically at 7. And at 7, I would say I would not rush to do it again. Would I be willing to do it again? Sure. Would I rush to do it again? No. Alright, here's what we got. We got more ship sculpts, but I guess I can show you some... I barely showed you the ship sculpts the first time round. Am I really going to show you the ship sculpts the next time round? We have the planets, which will go into our planetary box. We have some more light, as you might imagine. Some more cards, as you might imagine. Some more damage markers. More resources. And then we have more alien factions. Now these, let's look at some of the alien factions, because I think this is something fun to see, because this is some of the stuff you'd want if you got this extension. So we have the Morlock. For each an enemy ship rolls in a sector containing one or more ships, you assign 1 damage to ships of that type belonging to that player. Ooh, it fights blanks. Evilons, your ships may each hold 1 extra ship mod technology card. That's fun. We have Megalinth. Gain a light anytime you destroy an enemy extractor. That changes the way you approach the game and the technologies you want to seek out. Again, this is the fun part. Recog Initiative. Exhaust this card to unexhaust one of your technology cards. That is very useful. I think I may have had that at one point, but I'm not certain. I don't remember the art. I remember the power. It might have been another technology card. Now, Luma. If you control 2 green planets, you may exhaust this card to gain a light, and you can do that every cycle. Esqui. Exhaust this card to draw 2 tech cards, give 1 to an opponent of your choice, keep the other. Sirenians. When the board rotates, you may choose to give up to 2 other players light. If you do, gain 1 purple for each player you gave a light to. Wow. That is an interesting one. I like this one. I'm going to stop looking at these. I like the premise of this. I will incentivize myself, but if I'm in the lead, I don't want other players catching up. But if I'm not in the lead, it helps other players and me. I like the principle of it. It's scary, though. It's scary. These cards are fun. Anyways, we're going to put this into our stack of cards that we have over here, because we have all that in this core box. I'm going to transfer everything over here, but I'm going to do that later. Now, we also have some additional cards over here. These are planetary achievements, I guess. Yeah, it looks like planetary achievements. I don't think we need those. And then we have the ships. And then we have the graveyard cards. I don't think there's a lot of like new text and stuff. It's more other stuff. Let's take a look and see if there are any cool spaceship skulls. Whites are okay. Are these? No. No. Are they the same sculpts? Okay. Here's what we got. Ready? So it looks like they basically reuse the same sculpts in different colors. So for example, if we look at these over here, we have the green sculpts of these, and then the red sculpts of the same ship. I don't know how you can see that, but they're the same basic ship, which that doesn't even bother me that much. But what is interesting, are the red B guys the same as the green B guys? Yep, they're the same ships. Same definite ships. So the tricky part, though, is the following, okay? Then we have the blues over here are going to be similar to the blacks, okay? So that's not a problem over here. I'll show you where the problem begins in a second. The problem is going to begin in a second, okay? This is a small oversight, but it's not the end of the world unless you're playing with 8 players. But either way, so we have the blues are similar to the blacks. Okay, I can live with that. Same sculpting, not the end of the world, but that means the white is going to be similar to the purple. So if we grab, let's say, a purple ship down over here, if we grab this purple over here and compare it to this white, you can see over here, white and purple are similar, which is still all fine. I don't know if you're tracking where this is going, but there is a specific thing I have in mind, which means that yellow is similar to yellow over here. There we go. Yellow is similar to orange, which technically are 2 different shades, but that's the same sculpt. That is one of these things. Like, this is the tricky part. Like, that's one of the tricky parts. Like, this is an area where it's like, it is a problem, but it's like such an interesting oversight to have. And again, it will only affect you at 8 players, and even then, you should still be able to manage. I will say, it doesn't show up in camera as well. On the board, I don't know. Hey, let me do this over here. I don't think it's as bad on the board. It is definitely. I'm gonna try to see how well it shows up. Like, can you see at a glance? If you have these in the sector right now, can you see? No. Yeah, it's worse here, but I don't think it's as bad. Like, my eyes can tell those apart at a glance. I will say that. I might post a picture of these on Insta. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll do the following. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'll take a picture of the board with a bunch of these ships. I'm going to wrap up this unboxing now. This is how we're going to end the unboxing. Slightly different than my usual videos. I'm going to end the unboxing by putting a few more ships on the board and sorting a few planets, and then giving you I'll take this off so that people who know this shouldn't be here won't be upset, and that way everything's all better and everything's all okay. Same with the damage markers that have no one to actually... Some people get very upset when things are not the way they're supposed to be in a picture. But I'm going to take a picture of the board for Instagram. I'll include a link to my Instagram down below. In fact, it's always a link to my Instagram down below. Check that out, and you'll see a picture. The same day this video goes up, there'll be a picture of Last Light, because I'm going to do that now. There'll be a picture of Last Light on the table, and you can see the miniatures in the picture, where you can see the difference in color, because it is a small issue, but not the end of the world. Past that, the rest of this unboxing is the same as the rest of the other unboxing, so I'm going to close this up. This is Last Light from Roy Canada and Great Fox Games. I should have more coverage of the game. I might do a gameplay if I'm feeling really ambitious, because it's a fast and easy game. Maybe I'll do a gameplay. Oh. I'm realizing I have plans this week to either play The Witcher or The Expeditions as a filmed gameplay. And I was leaning towards The Witcher, but maybe I'll do the Expeditions, because I can do Expeditions and Last Light in the same night. Stay tuned. We'll find out. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.